Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the fuck it is?
Aries and Andy, chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut cocaine. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Fuck being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was sucking on your mama's tit.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism,
Sexism.
Much love to my loyal bitch bag holders.
Rollers, clip loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Good morning, Vietnam. Yes, back here in Ybor City, Florida. Tampa, baby, we are here.
Yeah, man, we're in Tampa.
Yes.
Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Home of the Tampa Bay, whatever that football team is.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, and we haven't ever brought Tom Brady's divorce up.
Oh, my fucking God. I can't fucking... Kid, this is fucking wicked, kid. The fucking greatest Anglo-Saxon, purebred, white thoroughbred, cleft chin, all-American white man is getting a fucking divorce. I'm so fucking proud of this fucking guy. You know why? Because he's fucking grabbing the bull by the fucking horns and he's taking it straight on. He is facing the fact. He is dancing to the fucking music. The guy's not even fucking trying to hide it. You know what this says. That, he's, the fucking guy is a fucking queer. Evidently, he's fucking sexual. He's getting a fucking divorce. And you know what, Tom? That's all right, because I am too. We should get married. We'd be the greatest fucking gay fucking couple. Fucking pure thoroughbred, two white guys, two cleft chins. Fucking purebred white guys ever. Fucking ever. I gotta be honest with you, Tom. I'm even shocked that you married a white woman with an African animal's name. It's fucking crazy, kid. Well, why would you do that, Tom? Anyway, listen, I'm so excited about the fact that you're divorcing this fucking girl. This is fucking great. Right now, my cock is swimming in its own seminal juices. That's right. It's like that movie with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman, the Crimson Tide. My cock is that submarine. It's hard, it's strong, it's heavy, it's vast, it's robust, and it's just surrounded by nothing but seminal fucking juices. Right now, both Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington are standing in the middle of my cock having an intense argument. My name's Bobby Patterson, by the way. Bobby's excited, man.
Apparently.
Yeah. Like fucking cock's a submarine, kid. It's fucking to die for. You like that? Why would he marry a woman whose name is an African animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not even going to comment on it. That's I like how you jumped to shark with Tom being gay, though. Now he's gay.
He's a fucking queer kid. The fucking guy. I always felt it, but he's got to do the thing because, he's the fucking America's fucking, he's the world's best quarterback. So he's got to fucking do the facade and fucking be with a woman. But, the fuck, why would she divorce him? He's supposed to divorce her. But, they probably had a fucking contract and, the obligations were met. And it's time for Tom to be, on his way out, who he really is, on his way in.
It sounds like any other social media post, like the biggest. How did you not see this?
Yeah, it's crazy, kid. It's the fucking evidence has always been there. He could have been retired, but he wanted to stay around all the guys. He wanted to be in the locker room with all those fucking guys, fucking naked, and there's fucking the chocolates, the chocolate guys, the fucking those guys are fucking hammers. All their fucking dicks look like the son of Odin's hammer. It's, they make noise when they pull it out. You know what I mean, kid? Say, he didn't want to leave that. Fuck the game. I know he lives the game, but the fucking corks. So I'm just glad, Tom, you're not running from who you really are and what you are. And I hope that you and I one day could just fucking do what you and the fucking white woman with the African animal's name did. And tie the holy fucking knot into matrimony and be who we really are. People should be who they are.
So you just think Tom Brady's playing football for the view?
For the view. That's what it is. It's just purely for the view. It's fucking hard. It's not in the game.
It's obvious because of their slow start.
That's right. He's been distracted, kid.
You have just blown the lid.
I am like the fucking Boston Batman. I'm the world's greatest fucking sleuth. I'm a fucking detective, kid. I can figure this shit out. I've been dreaming about it nightly. Like me and fucking Tawm, we're just holding hands, skipping to a field of lilies. It's good. It would be the best, kid.
And then you can just go to Rhode Island and get married.
Go to fucking Rhode Island and have a lobster wedding. Just down by the fucking pier or by the waters and just fucking have a lobster wedding. Just nothing but lobster and me and fucking Tawm. No women allowed. Be fucking wicked.
Then who's going to be the flower girl?
I will find a fucking guy so queer that, he's, they got him around, kid. Somebody so fucking queer. He's a guy, but he's a girl. But you know what it is. I'm just dreaming. My cock is just sweaty with seminal juice right now. It's slippery down there, kid.
How many people do you think just turn this off?
No, they're fucking listening because they know, man. They fucking know. And normally I'm not a homosexual, but it's Tawm fucking Brady, kid. You got to make an exception.
So what you're saying is if it's Tawm, it's not really gay.
It's not gay. It's the most manliest gay thing you could do. It doesn't get any straighter and crooked than that. All right.
That answer sounded like Herschel Walker being a pro-life, trying to explain how he did pay for abortions.
I gotta tell you, man, that nigga does us such a disservice. What a dumb motherfucker. I love when Dave called him, I didn't even heard that word, observably stupid. He just always looks like he's got his mouth open. Oh, it's Dave. This is great. So this episode is called The Blacks because we're going to talk about two movies that have the word black in it. Long overdue, Black Adam. And then recently Andy and I saw Black Panther. Before we jump on to that, though, I have to mention a movie I downloaded just because I was curious. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it because I want to read the description. A movie that I had downloaded as I was perusing through.
Perusing?
Perusing or perusing? Perusing. I'm sorry.
Peruvian. I thought you went to a different country.
Peruvia. Right. That's probably why I fucked that up. Oh, fuck. This movie. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll probably find it. So yeah, I was looking for a movie to watch on my direct red-eye flight from LA to Tampa. And there was this movie I just happened to run across that Andy this wasn't pre-planned. I just happened to bring it up and I saw it and it fucking floored me. Give me 1 second.
Although there was a movie you were supposed to watch.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the movie you were going to watch?
Which movie was that?
The one you were going to watch this morning.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
I watched it this morning.
Okay, good.
Okay. This movie is called Fall. F-A-L-L. Here's the description. Come on, what are you doing? Fucking cunt. What the fuck is this thing doing? No! Hold on, give me a second. I just had it and then it switched it off. Oh, I'm so about to get mad. What is this thing doing? Steve, just tell Steve clean that up.
I think you could hear that.
All right, so this movie is called Fall, and the description is four best friends, Becky and Hunter. Life is all about conquering fears and pushing limits. However, after they climb 2,000 feet to the top of a remote, abandoned radio tower, they find themselves stranded with no way down. Now their expert climbing skills are put to the ultimate test as they desperately fight to survive the elements, a lack of supplies, and vertigo-inducing heights. So and when you see what the poster is, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm curious. So I watched this movie. And this movie should have been called wild and unnecessarily stupid shit white people do.
Well, because that's what I was going to ask. Why are they on this poll?
Well, here's the thing. The movie starts out, the very opening, I'm spoiler alert, where the one girl's two girls, I forget, Becky and the other girl.
Before you give out everything, do you want people to watch this?
Yes.
You should.
Matter of fact, yo. 5 yos out of 5 yos. Because this is one of those things where it ain't like somebody told me. It ain't like I went in warning. I just looked at the poster and I went, okay. So, and I'm not really giving spoilers. I'm telling you what the movie is. So they open up the movie though, and it's one of the two main girls and her boyfriend, husband at the time, and their friend. It's 3 of them. 2 girls and a guy, the girl and her husband and the girl's best friend. And they're rock climbing. And they're climbing up a rock that's probably the size of the Empire State Building. And at one point, the camera pans up and you see they're in the middle of the rock climb. They're in smack dab in the middle of the rock trying to get to the top. But then they angled the camera so you could see how far away the ground was. And at one point, the husband, and and I'm sure rock climbers know this, but whatever, the cable is lodged into a rock, which is holding him in place. So as he goes to climb, he goes to stick his hand in this hole to help him climb, and out comes this fucking bird, aggressive and angry, which throws him off. He then fucking falls, loses his footing, and is now dangling midair, and the only thing holding him up is this cable. But because the winds are so strong, they sway him left, right, aggressively. And the more he sways, you could see the metal piece being, shaken out of the rock. Cut to, he sways so much, eventually he falls to his death. And I just went, white people, what is it about you guys where you look death in the face and go, I fucking dare you? Like, y'all don't, I just, like, rock climbing. What is the fascination of doing shit that, unless there's some sort of real reward, there's $1 million waiting at the top of the rock. Or if I do this, I'm going to get this. Once you get there and you go, I did it. Now we go back down with nothing having gained but to go, I did it. And maybe take a selfie. What the fuck are y'all doing, man?
You did something that no one else could do, that most people can't do.
No one else does this but y'all. Black people don't do this.
All the Sherpas that climb Everest, they climb Everest all the time.
Who?
The Sherpas. They're indigenous people for that area. Where I can't even remember where Everest is. You go to Everest and they climb that. They don't use the people who say that they climbed Everest aren't the ones actually getting there. It's the Sherpas that are getting them there.
And they're
indigenous people to that area.
So they're minorities.
They're the originals of that area.
Yeah, but don't they have some real reason for doing it? Because it seems like sometimes white people, y'all just do shit.
They're making money off white people coming there to climb up.
Okay, but the indigenous people that do it, is there, like, what I'm getting at is,
they have to.
Most people that are natives to the land, if they hunt, they do it for the food,
right,
to eat, survival,
right,
make clothes. Whereas a lot of white people do shit just for sport. So those indigenous people, is there a purpose, or are they just doing it for the same reason the white folks are doing it?
No, I think because they can. It's part of their culture. They climb. That's kind of what they do.
Okay, I'll give that a pass. But for the most part, y'all know y'all do wild, dangerous, unnecessary shit. Are there some Asian people that may go, yeah, I want to climb a rock? Some Hispanics, yeah, I want to climb a rock. I always say, there's exceptions to every rule, but the rule tends to be the majority. And the majority don't do that.
Okay.
Again, white people, y'all are the only people that look death in the face and say, show me what you got. What is wrong with y'all? What I would never think, niggas ain't going, yo, let's climb up a rock the size of a skyscraper, New York City size skyscraper. And if you think in your mind, what's the worst that could happen? You fall to your death. Nah, we good.
Race car driving.
You got one dude.
Yeah, well. No,
Bubba Smith, right? That's his name?
I don't know it's Smith.
I think it's Bubba
I just know it's Bubba.
Yeah, listen.
Wallace, Bubba Wallace.
I keep saying
Is it Wallace?
I don't know his last name, but I know it's Bubba. I keep saying white tigers exist. Albino apes exist. That's not the norm. And the norm is the rule, the majority. So yeah, you got exceptions, but goddamn, man.
I like that you said, or maybe a selfie, because that's recent. People did this shit way before people were getting selfies.
Either way, it's a stupid thing.
But I like it because you made me realize why more people would do it for the selfie.
Okay, but that being said, this movie is great, man. It keeps listen. So these two white broads, and what happens is the dude that dies, his wife is fucked up. She's like all fucked up. She's still calling his cell phone even though he's dead because she wants to hear his voice on the voicemail. Hey, this is Dan. Leave a message. She's fucked up.
It'd be funny if someone got like access to his way and they just left. Oh,
yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's funny. That's fucked up. That's funny. That's fucked up.
I should call.
So she's still calling the phone, and her friend, who was also there on that ride, to get her to come out of her funk, it's like, no, look what scares you in the face. Like Jay-Z said, don't run from the pain, go towards it. Like, face your fears. Dan wouldn't want you to not climb anymore. So she convinces her to climb this fucking power tower that's 2,000 feet above the ground. And the whole time they're climbing the tower, they're showing you how old this tower is. The nuts and bolts are loosening. And they get to the tippy top. And when they try to go down, between the wind, their weight, and the shakiness, the bolts finally fly out and the whole ladder system gone. So they're stuck to it's open. You saw the movie Open Water?
I think
You ever saw the movie Open Water?
Who's
The
that?
two people stranded in the ocean.
No, I never did.
You never saw Open Water?
I never did.
It's open water in the sky. And these two white girls are trapped for days. No food, no water, in the sky, 2,000 feet above the ground. Man, that shit, this movie, I'm telling y'all, it's called Fall, F-A-L-L. It had me on the edge of my fucking seat. It had me on the edge. And you know, I'm about to scream and shit. You know, I am about to scream and shit. So I'm gonna tell you one more thing. At one point, the one girl whose husband, Dan, got killed, she's, you know, on the way up on the climb, she scraped her leg, her thigh, on a rusty piece of metal. And her friend, of course, put the tourniquet, used her shirt for a tourniquet. But these vultures keep flying above them. They can smell the blood. And, you know, this is a 4-day wound. So at one point, the one girl, she hasn't eaten. They haven't had anything to drink. They're fucking dehydrated. Sleep deprivation. The girl's trying to fucking stay up. The wound is fucking with her. It might be infected. So a friend tells her, you need something to eat. You've got to eat something. You need energy. So at one point, the girl's sitting up there and it looks like she's asleep. And a vulture comes and swoops in and is sitting next to her. And it starts to pick at her leg, but she's faking sleep. So she wakes up, grabs the vulture by the neck, wrings its neck, kills it, splits open its stomach, and starts to eat its insides. Now, you know me, I'm out, you know. But, yo, and there's another moment that's crazy, and I ain't gonna say no more, but Andy, this fucking movie, man, I was sitting here like, it really had me on the edge of I'm biting my lip, I'm clutching the armrest, I'm tightening my hand. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? This movie is wild, dude. It's a great watch, y'all. I'm telling you, 5 yo's out of yo's. Fall. It's like that.
Let me ruin it for you real quick. So that the carabiner, that's what's the cord is attached to,
Right.
and then there's that thing that locks into the rock that
Right.
he has it in. If you're up that high, you have more than one of those.
Okay.
So when you fall the 50 feet or the 100 feet, whatever your inserting those at,
Right.
you're going to have another one that catches you. You're not going to fall because one of those things happened.
Okay, so that's the movie shit.
That's the movie shit.
Right.
I'm just letting you know that he would get caught. You might hurt yourself because you're going to fall twice as far.
Here's what black people would say. You got no motherfucking business up there in the first fucking place. That's where it starts and stops. You got no motherfucking business up there.
Just because I know what would be doing doesn't mean that I go and do it. There's this. I just read the story about a guy who went caving. Do you know what caving is?
Why would I know that?
You go into these caves.
I know what caving is. Where you white people come from. You came from the goddamn caves. Okay,
maybe this is part of it. Maybe this is why we do it.
Okay,
because of our culture. It's locked deep within the DNA.
Right.
You go caving into these little passages, and you have to sometimes get on your stomach, and you have to crawl, and you have to slide between these and it's tight.
Oh, the dude got stuck.
Yeah,
and died.
Yeah,
yeah. See, y'all. I posted about this. A dude went into some part of the world where caves, and he was trying to go through a path to get in and out of the cave, and he got stuck.
And it's dark. You don't see.
Completely black.
Yeah.
And he got stuck. And by the time the rescuers could even try to get him out, he was already dead. And they basically made the cave in which he died like a I don't know if monument, a tomb in his honor.
His honor.
White people, what the fuck? What's wrong with y'all? What is the thrill to go? I want to ease through crevices and cracks, so tiny and small, and if you're anywhere near claustrophobic, but it'll give you that feeling of being closed in and wedged so tightly that you can get stuck, and where you can't even see your hand in front of your face because it's pitch black. Not to mention whatever's in the cave, the noises, the sounds. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? White people, y'all look at the idea of dying. You look at death like if death was an actual person, like we've seen the motherfucker cloaked in the robe with the sickle. Y'all would look death in the face and say, "Show me what the fuck you got, motherfucker." What is wrong with y'all, man? Oh God.
So you wouldn't go caving,
nigga? Nah, man. Nah, yo, I ain't fucking around like that. Like I said, I went skydiving because to me that was always fascinating to be that high in the air, just in midair. That was always. But I know you got a parachute.
You went sky. You know how many people die a year from skydiving.
I know, but you got a parachute though.
But you know how many people die a year from skydiving.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got one. That's you on you.
Okay, and scuba diving.
Okay, how many scuba dives have I done? 0.
How many skydives have you done?
0.
Okay.
How many rocks have I climbed? 0. You're black and you're up 2.
You are the safest white nigga I know. You live by nigga credo, Andy.
No, I mean, I want to do all this. They all seem interesting. But why am I going to pay to kill myself?
I told you. Every black person has white in them. That's the white in me exploring shit. But I don't go, now that I've done it, I want to do it 18 more. No, I did skydiving. I did it. I'm done. I did scuba diving. That whole beautiful world down there, I did it.
I snorkeled and didn't dive. I snorkeled.
Snorkeling, the way once you do scuba diving, snorkeling is.
I know, it looks beautiful, but there's things down there.
I hear you.
Have you, do you ride roller coasters?
Yes, I love roller coasters. Love them. Always have since I was a kid. When my dad took me to out LA, it's called Magic Mountain, and East Coast is called Great Adventure.
Yeah, but human beings screw that shit together. Yeah. I hate riding that. I
love them, man.
When my kids were at the age that they wanted to ride them, I rode them because I didn't want to be that dad.
Right.
And so I got on. I think I've rode like 3 or 4 roller coasters, and I hate them. There's no purpose in it.
Yeah, I listen. I love that feeling. So you've never ridden a roller coaster?
No, I've ridden.
Okay, yeah, I love that feeling of when you go up and you go down fast. Your stomach touches your back. I love that. That's such a rush.
Dude, and you got the people screaming.
I love that shit, dude.
The log ride at Disneyland is about the
The water ride?
yeah, when you take the log.
right.
Yeah, that's about the most that I want to do.
Right. So yeah, y'all, this movie Fall, man. There's one other scene that is so fucking gross. I don't want to give you everything. It's so fucking gross. But, and you know, I'm squeamish, but I was in this movie, man. This is a good fucking movie, man. It's a ride. It's a ride.
Dude, you wouldn't like it.
The whole time, and here's what black people will say. When they get to the tower and you see how high it is, and they climb, and they're halfway, you know how many times I said stupid bitch? This stupid bitch. These stupid bitches. The fuck are these bitches doing? Like, it just, you know, niggas is just, that. I think that might have been the one good thing about black people in a Kanye sort of way when slavery was a trade. Nah, I'm joking. I'm totally joking, but that's what slavery might have been good for us. We knew boundaries. Niggas knew to hold back on some shit. Like, if we had really came up with white people the way white people come up, we would be as wild as y'all. But we just know. We've been through some shit. Nah, we very cautious.
Don't worry. Your generations behind you look a lot different.
Yes, because they ain't getting ass whoopings.
They look a lot
They looking a lot like these motherfucking
Yes, they
mayonnaise
do.
people. Another quick movie I want to throw out, and I know you saw it. I downloaded and watched Halloween Ends.
Yeah, man.
Boom!
You didn't like it, huh?
Dude, what the fuck are they doing?
They jumped. It's a jump to shark.
So Mike Myers has an apprentice? He has an assistant? The fuck are we doing? This is a franchise. Mike Myers has a fucking assistant.
That was the match called Reboot.
Oh,
That's what it was. That's all it is a match called Reboot. Now they can reboot it. Now you don't have to have any of the old people or any of the old theme. Now you got a new guy who can be Mike Myers because Mike got old.
But what doesn't make sense is all the ways that Michael has been killed up to this point hasn't stopped him.
But-
so why now? So when they put him in the grinder and she stabbed him in the hand, a la Jesus, impaled him. She stabbed him in the chest. She cut his throat. He went in the grinder. What now?
Because he's old. Like he was old. Like he couldn't move. You know what it was? they used Wolverine. The concept of Wolverine. Like he got old and he was no longer
like Logan.
Yeah, he can no longer save himself.
Right.
So now he's old.
Right.
And he doesn't have the ability to regenerate anymore. And the last time that she almost killed him, it took him to that where he was hiding out and he was just eating a few people that would come by.
And yeah, they had him fucking like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Splinter the Rat.
Yeah.
This thing's in the sewer.
And then his eyes locked on, like Bobby Patterson's eyes locked on to Tom Brady's. And he saw the souls connected.
Oh.
And he adopted him immediately. That's basically it, right? We just gave away the movie, but listen, I don't care because if you see it, it's not going to change it because we all know what these movies are. I thought it was interesting. I don't like that it jumped, but I knew what it was. It was the reboot. That's all it is. It's
Right.
the reboot. It's the reboot. They're going to have some other.
You know, listen, both Andy and I come from an era. And it was funny, when I was watching it on the plane, the guy next to me, he could tell what it was, but, you know, obviously couldn't hear it. I had my headphones in, but I could tell he was dozing in and out of sleep, while at the same time, he kept looking at my screen. So when it was over, he asked me, he said, how was it? I said, it's cool, but it needed to end. I've been there since the beginning.
It would have been great to just put a final cap on it. Would have been
Right.
great, but no. They did the jump to shark.
Well, my thing is, again, you and I, we've been there since the birth.
Yeah.
We know Michael Myers from Halloween 1 till right now. And I just went, you know, I got to tell you, man, and I don't know if this makes me, I'm saying something that goes against man code, but I'm just going, we came up in a time when less really was more.
Yeah.
It was scarier when you didn't have to go all out. Like that scene where he takes the black DJ's head and smashes it 50 times into the fucking table. By the time he's done, this nigga's mouth is unhinged. His jaw is unhinged from the rest of his mouth. And if that wasn't enough, he takes a pair of scissors and cuts this nigga's tongue in half Did we need that? Did we need that?
It was, it has to outdo what's been done before. That's kind of the rule.
We live in an era now where everything has to be bigger, faster. It's horror movies are the fucking NBA athletes of today.
Because they have better effects now, so they want to use the effects. That's really what it is. So what more can we do?
I think you get away from the effect that it's supposed to have. Because my thing is this. These Halloweens, these scary movies now aren't really scary. They're just grotesque.
Gross. Yeah. Because Quentin Tarantino's movies, to give you the setup and let your mind imagine what happens, is much scarier. Because we're scarier inside than anything that they're going to do on the screen. They'll gross us out on the screen, but we're scarier inside.
Like I said, in Halloween 1, one of the scariest moments to me is when she fought him while she was in the closet and stabbed him in the eye. And she's leaning up against the wall, trying to get it together. And he's supposed to be out. And then you just see him in the background rise up like he did a sit-up. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. And the audience sees it. She doesn't know what's happening behind her. Do you know how scary that was? Because it was silent. You see her trying to get it together. And then just out in the shadows.
Did you see that movie in the theaters? That one?
Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it in a theater that was white or primarily black or just mixed?
Oh, just mixed.
Just mixed?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I want to go into this right now because we're probably going to talk about this because at the movie we were at this week.
Right.
But I just want to know when he set up, did every black woman in the theater scream when he
I can't remember that. I definitely can't remember that because remember when that movie came out, I was a kid. But I just know that the less was more, and even when Michael Myers, you'd hear you'd hear him within the mask, and it was like how you look at Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man when they show him in the costume, but you just hear that is spooky. But the shit they do now, it's like they've abandoned let's be scary. It's just let's be gross. Yeah, I don't know if that gets me kicked out of the treehouse.
It wasn't the worst Halloween though. That's all I was going to say about it. It wasn't the worst one. I think Halloween should have ended a while ago. But
definitely.
But it should have ended. It would have been great if they really just let it go. But there's money to be made, man.
Yeah, and sometimes you see what happens when corporate greed gets involved.
But Jamie Lee Curtis was really cool because when she was on a talk show and they said, "Is this the end?" And she goes, "Well, yes." Well, they can do whatever they want with it, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the end. So I like that she didn't give it away,
right?
But that was the end to her. That's it, and it is the end for her because there's no reason for her to be in it now. Because if they do it again, it's going to be the reboot.
All right, let's get to the blacks. So we saw Black Adam. Did we see it the week it came out? Or a week after? I think the week, right?
The week it came out because it was over 2 weeks ago.
I've said this many a times, and I'm gonna say it again. If DC gets its shit together, Marvel's in trouble. Because I've always said, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, that's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They are supposed to be the tier top position, and DC and the heads of Warner Brothers started out with the whole thing fucked up, and Marvel was the big kid on the block. But if they do this right, and of course the big moment that everybody was geeked about was when they showed Superman at the end of the movie, and of course Superman saying, "I've never seen anybody that made the planet this nervous. We need to talk." So of course, which is the setup for the big Superman. Black Adam, but I think even bigger than that, what was it? Superman, Black Adam, and I forget who, some sort of villain. But anyway, introducing Superman, Henry Cavill is back, and I'm hoping in my perfect little nerdy world that they do the right thing. I've heard the rumors that Ben Affleck is supposed to get his own solo film as Batman, and this feels like if they line it up right. You got the Batman, you got Superman and Man of Steel 2. I don't know what won't be Zack Snyder's involvement. Look, I hope to get a fucking Justice League 2, where the whole band comes together. You know, Black Adam, Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter, of course, Green Lantern, Cyborg, Aquaman. Let's get the whole fucking team together, man.
Dude, if it was me, and no one gives a fuck what I think, if it was me at Disney or Warner Brothers or any of these places like you talk about, but for DC right now, if I had the opportunity with everything that you're talking about, who's going to be Batman, who's not going to be Batman, what these movies, while Ben Affleck is still young enough to pull this off for I don't know how many more years, do a fucking series.
A series?
Do a series.
A TV series?
Yeah.
With Ben Affleck as Batman?
Yeah, on a streaming network. Do a series, dude. Like only 4 episodes each season, or maybe 6, but like a really good fucking series, because movies are still incredible. But these series that they do, they can give so much more depth to the character because they have more time. They can lay it out. They have the money for it because it makes more money because you can put them in syndication. But this would be hard. You couldn't put this in the syndication unless you got that many episodes. I would love to see it. I would really love to see them develop a Batman.
I think that's a bad idea.
Batman's been developed before, and I would like to change its campy Batman to that Batman.
But they've changed the campiness. They haven't done it.
In the
Tim
movies
Burton was the last campiness.
In the movies they have. In the series, it would be great if there was a series.
I think you start from scratch and get a whole nother person to play Batman. Listen, we have yet to see, like the way Avengers did with Infinity War and Endgame, we have yet to see it done right. A big crescendo of all the DC main characters coming together to kick ass. And if you're going to do that, you got to do it on the big screen. You got to do it on the big screen. Zack Snyder's Justice League was a huge rebound from Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Yeah, but it's the same. How many people are still Warner Brothers that are going to fucking crush those shows?
No, but they brought in some new
people.
Yeah.
But their track record.
Okay.
I still say if you had it would be great to see a series. I would tune in. I would be there every fucking week wanting to see that.
Yeah,
would you?
If it were lesser characters, I'd say okay.
Who's one of the strongest characters in your television movie world?
And you mean comic book lore?
No, who's one of the strong characters? It's a character. It's someone who doesn't exist, but the strongest character.
But I want to make sure we're being specific here. It could be a character from any kind of genre of movie.
Any kind of genre. Movie or television?
Well, television, I'd say Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Right.
And they made a movie of it, and the movie doesn't.
Stuck.
Okay. I'm talking a series like that with Ben Affleck.
Not with Ben Affleck. Start with somebody else. He's already been out there in a movie.
I know.
So why would you demote him?
Because it's not a demotion to be on TV anymore. TV's where the money's at.
Dude.
Why do you think all these actors are switching over to TV?
I hear that, but what I'm saying is when you're dealing with a comic book movie, a comic book hero, that is meant for the big screen.
Because you can put more character and you can develop the character bigger in a TV series.
But what don't we know about that character that we don't? I mean, what are you going to tell us we don't already know?
Because Ben Affleck's, I like Ben Affleck as Batman, and I would like him. He's one of the few that I like both as Batman and as Clark and as Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
I like him as both, and I would like to see them develop both those characters out longer in a TV format. That's all.
Nah, give me the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Just give me the big bang for the buck.
That's just action. That's all you want is just the action.
I know. You could tell story and get great action. Zack Snyder proved it with his version of the Justice League.
And how many hours was that?
And I didn't mind it.
I know, but now what if you could give Zack Snyder 12 hours instead to tell the story?
Nah, son.
Yeah, man.
Nah.
Yeah.
Dude, and I don't know if you noticed this, but how many of the DC and Marvel characters are exactly alike? A la Doctor Strange versus Dr. Fate. And they both have Doctor in their name. Ant-Man versus Atom. The ability in changing sizes. Hawkman versus Falcon and Scarlet Witch versus Cyclone.
They all were competing with each other at the time. That's all they were doing. And they were friends anyway. A lot of them
think
were
that was
friends.
purposely, though? Purpose?
Yeah, you couldn't get a new character off without another one, you couldn't get a big character off. There were minor characters that you could get off that way. And that's what they did.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would have been, could you imagine being a young adult at that time? I'm going back in history too far. Wouldn't be as fun for you as it would for me. But a young adult at that time where you just were a complete creative, where you're in making comic books. That's like, what a change from a job to this is a job, but it's creating make-believe on paper. That must have been, because that didn't even seem like, if you went back and told your parents that's what you were going to do at that time, they would look at you like you were an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because, parents were ignorant to what the reality of that was in terms of being able to actually have a career. All they knew is what was sound to them. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, go to school for a certain amount of time.
I'm going to draw make-believe characters of superheroes.
And they would think that was silly because they didn't know that was a reality.
So the people that were encouraged, that's how you get a Stan Lee, man. Someone who just
is a visionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that's very interesting.
Dude, and listen, if completely done right, like if completely done right, we're supposed to get a Marvel versus DC. If we talking about the big bonanza, if it could all be done right, like the way we saw Captain America,
the studios,
Civil War,
the studios never come together.
Shit, if the money, listen, if they did that right, hands down, that could be one of the most biggest paydays in Hollywood history at the box office. Picture Civil War, that scene at the airport where some, one crew on one side and they all start to run and rush towards each other like they did in Civil War. But one side is DC and the other side is Marvel. That would be huge. The fucking comic book geeks and nerds would cream their fucking pants.
Oh, no, there'd be a lot of fighting about it because of the writers, the direction, how they portrayed each character. I think it opens up more problems than it solves problems.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, watching Black Adam, I get why The Rock is a star.
Yeah.
Like there's certain moments where you just on screen, you go, motherfucker was born to play this. And I saw The Rock do an interview and he said, he specifically told the studio he didn't want to wear any padding because a lot of those suits come with the muscle padding. Yeah. He was like, nah, it's all me. But you could tell he was meant to play this. His whole life has been geared for this moment.
So this is his moment. This
was his moment, man.
To be Black Adam.
Because when he was on screen, and a lot of people say, I've read criticism where people go, dude, he's The Rock and everything. He's Dwayne, he's The Rock. No matter what he does, he's The Rock. I never really looked at it like that, but I've never been gung-ho on what's the latest Rock movie, I gotta go see it. Like Neri loves The Rock to death. He says his two favorite actors are The Rock and Will Smith. I'm just not a Rock guy like that. I've seen some stuff. I've seen a lot of his stuff, but I've just never paid attention. He's never been my guy like that. But with this, I went, this is him, man. This was his calling.
Yeah. I don't think that he's exactly this. Well,
does he show range? He shows depth to you?
In his comedy, he does. I mean, in his comedy where he plays what's Jumanji when he's playing an actual,
I didn't see Jumanji.
I finally saw it.
Yeah.
But he's playing he's like he's him, but he's a girl.
Right.
And then he played when he's when he plays his young self, or he's supposed to, when he was in the Secret Service. What's the movie? Who's that with Kevin Hart?
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No. I think it's called Central Intelligence.
Something. It wasn't that good, but you saw different range in there. And then the one that he did with what's about the music business?
The music business.
Yeah, when he wants to be an actor, it was supposed to be a take on Get Shorty or the sequel to Get Shorty.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
That one he was
Right.
completely that there's no rock in there.
Right.
I think he has his. It comes out more comedic, but I think there's range. Has he ever done anything super serious?
Listen, he is the Schwarzenegger for today.
Yeah,
It's all about his muscles. It's all about blowing shit up. It's all about being the tough guy. That's who he is. That's who he is. For anybody to expect more than that, we talked about it with Keanu. Notes. That's his note. But he has a presence on screen.
Yeah, he does. He has a presence, and there's this. I think people have they vibrate at a certain level. This dude is just off the charts on how he comes out. When he does interviews,
right?
I don't care who's in the room with him. He stands out in the interview.
Yes. He's got his personality he's very likable. He draws you in. He's a decent looking dude. Of course, the physique doesn't hurt. Like nobody went to go see an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie because they thought they were going to walk away with something deep. They knew what it was.
But he still has personality. And when you say range, it's hard for someone's voice and their look to be so present that you can't get past that. Because when he did Kindergarten Cop and he does the few things,
right.
I mean, there's range where the humor comes out, where you can
right.
see someone, he's humorous. It's a different side of the person. But when you're that opposing of a figure, it's hard to get past that to see the other, the intricacies of their personality.
The Rock said, and he even admitted, I saw on a clip yesterday, he said that in order for them to do a Black Adam sequel, they needed to make at least $800 million. Black Panther, and in The Rock's words, kicked our ass. He said Black Panther made more in that weekend than Black Adam has from the time it came out to present date. Eclipsed it like that.
There's a lot more riding on Black Panther. Not riding on it. There was a lot more interest in Black Panther.
One, it was a sequel.
It was a sequel, and life
Chadwick.
Itself. Yeah, Chadwick. That had such an impact. You can't even explain the impact it actually had.
Right.
But go on.
So, which is to say, I still think we'll see a Black Adam sequel. I think when all is said and done.
How much has it made so far? Do you know?
I don't know offhand. But something tells me we're going to see a sequel. I think they would even take the gamble on it, even if it didn't make the $800 million. And dude, while we were watching Black Panther, 20 seconds in, I ain't gonna lie to you, I already started getting the goosebumps. Because, when they do the Marvel thing, as they do the flipping through the comic book images, and they did it with Stan Lee when he passed, where all the images, instead of normally being, a montage of all the different characters, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and et cetera, et cetera. They showed nothing but Stan Lee images, which, of course, if you, again, a diehard Marvel fan, comic book fan, that meant something to you, So they did the same thing with Chadwick. And, it was like, and then, of course, the whole funeral. I read where people said there was some goosebump moments in that. And so it's what it's made. 366?
Yeah.
366 million. Yeah. Okay. The girl that plays Shuri, I believe her name is Lolita Wright.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Lolita Wright. I like her, man. She's a cutie to me. And I don't really go for bony women. But something about her. She's got a cute personality. Really cute and bubbly. I like her, man.
I had a hard time with the beginning of it. I'm going to be real honest.
What'd you have a hard time with?
I had a hard time with it because they address it so quickly.
Letitia Wright.
The movie hasn't even started,
Mhm.
and you're immediately dealing with the fact that he's dying. And
I think you have to, though.
I know, but it's just like I wasn't even. I was watching previews, and then before,
Right.
like the preview ended,
Right.
now he's dying,
Right.
and within seconds he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't prepared. I was still eating popcorn and having a Coke, thinking, "Oh, this is going to be,
Right.
what's going to happen? How are they going to handle this?" And they did it, I think, in a great way, because you would have been thinking the whole time if they didn't start it, like, how are they going to handle it? How are they going to handle
Right.
it? Boom, it's handled. It's handled in seconds.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready. I didn't even have time to get ready. I think that might have been the reason they did it that way. And, I think it was good because I didn't waste any more time. Not that it was a waste of time. I don't even like how I said that. I didn't have to put any time into the movie thinking, how are they going to handle this moment? Because the moment is handled before you even know the movie started.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with it, though, because I needed to catch up for a second, because I needed that. I was, but they do. They give you moments throughout the movie to get it together. And just to, not that this is important, but like the whole movie, I thought, you think about it. You think about who he was, and then this movie, not the character, not just the man himself, didn't say anything while he was going through all this. And then at the very end, when it just has that very simple line, thanks
To our friend, Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
Dude, that's when I went, oh, fuck. That's
Oh, no, I went off fuck several times before that.
I try to keep it in pretty much.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. That moment, and I love how they did it, was really beautiful. Where she goes to Haiti to go meet with Lupita Nyong'o's character. And I guess it was some sort of a robe or something that she threw into the fire.
Yeah.
And they have her have this moment of reflection where she's just thinking about her brother. And then they cut to, in complete silence, as it would be, someone's thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's just, they give each other the Wakanda forever pose. They dap each other up. He looks to her, she's smiling, laughing. And they just did like a flashback of sequences where you just saw their relationship. And then they cut to her and the one tear, and she's crying and her lip is quivering. That got me.
That's the very end. That's towards the very end.
And it's just silence.
And I'm trying to hold it in through that.
Right.
And then when it just says to our friend,
yes,
that was it. Was it. That's what I was able to keep it together until that moment.
Right.
And then you feel like, I don't know why it feels so unmanly to be at a comic book movie and cry. But there's people that, especially this situation, because he was right where he was going to become like the biggest.
You talking about Chadwick himself. Right.
And then so when she does that thinking back, it's not Black Panther anymore. It is Black Panther,
right?
Because it's her character. But that's like you.
Well, it encompasses all of it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Black Panther, our hero, her brother, the reality of this man's real life. It all comes together in that one moment, and then even which really added to it. Rihanna's song, I think it's called Lift You Up.
Yeah.
The way they cut to an all white and then you hear Rihanna sing that song.
Right?
I'm fighting it now. Oh boy. It was such a fucking beautiful moment. And then what I knew was what I was hoping was going to happen, happened. Because I went, okay, look, I said it. I said it made sense for her to be the Black Panther. And while I'll give all the props and big ups to her being the Black Panther and filling in the void, permanently, I don't want her to be that. It should be a guy. And I love the fact that they introduced that Lupita's character and Chadwick.
Are you giving it away? You're going to give it away?
People know by now.
Okay. There's some people that haven't seen it yet.
Well, then
so don't listen right now.
Yeah. Don't listen right now. You know the deal. They had a son. And the son is going to be the Black Panther. And that's the way I think it should be. And you know, again, I'm not trying to shit on the females in terms of being able to be powerful and be warriors. Because, again, a lot of black women check that girl on the post that I posted saying that there are real African female warriors that have existed, that kick ass, major badasses. So great, we got that. But we got that with the soldiers. Can you bring up the cast again for Black Panther? The one girl who plays on The Walking Dead, who M'Baku said, you bought that demon. What's her name? Oh, there it is right here. How you say that? Denai Guerrilla Okoye. But yeah, her. Like, you know, the soldiers for the Black Panthers are all those women with the spears and the warriors. So we got that. But that character should be a dude. And who better than his son?
But now they have both. And I think that's what they're going to go
What do you mean both?
Now she's going to be a Black Panther and the son will be.
No, I think they'll make her fall back into her original position.
Maybe. I think.
Plus, by the time he's grown enough to be a Black Panther, she's older. So yeah, man, I'm saying in the group of male-dominated superheroes, we could reel them off. Batman, Superman, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man. Can we keep ours? We ain't got many. You know, Falcon ain't no main dude. He's a side dude. Luke Cage might be a main dude, but we have yet to see a movie on him. Blade, from what I've been told or read, Mashaya, excuse me. Oh shit. Ali, the new Blade, they put that on hold. I'm sure it'll pick back up. But you know, Wesley played that. Once Wesley gave dude Mashaya Ali, or however you say it, he gave him his blessing. That dude's gonna be the new Blade, but that movie's on hold now for whatever reason. So I'm just saying we don't have as many heroes to be out there as the men as the white boys do. So let Black Panther be a dude, man. Let us have that. You know what I mean? Just let us have that. Let's not womanize that.
But did you like the movie overall?
Well, before I get to that, let me say this. Where the fuck is Angela Bassett's Oscar? This woman is long overdue. She's great. I went to the bathroom and I hate that my timing was bad, but because I saw it online. I even saw it online where somebody said because of that scene, they were like, she should have got an Oscar. But that scene when she was talking about how she lost her son and then her daughter and was such a powerful moment. But again, you could go through Angela Bassett's filmography. She's long overdue for an Oscar. What'd you think of her in that scene?
That's a great scene. But I think has anybody got an Oscar for a comic book movie yet?
Good question. I don't think so.
I think that if there's a hurdle, it's the comic book movie.
Right. Because it doesn't seem to get its respect from its peers.
No.
You know, you have Martin Scorsese that said those aren't real movies. And recently, Quentin Tarantino, I read where he said he would never direct a superhero movie because those are for hired hands and he's not looking for a job.
You know, I don't know what anybody's personal take on
that was his personal take.
No, I said I don't know what anybody else. I mean, I meant else in the industry.
Right.
I
wouldn't want Quentin Tarantino to direct a superhero movie because he'd make it a Tarantino movie and fuck it up.
Yeah, but
he would take it away from the essence of what it's supposed to be to put his stamp on it. Fuck superheroes saying nigga.
You know, I didn't even think about that, but it would have to be.
You know what I mean? Superman is, you know, Jesus, we got to go save these niggas. Why they always put themselves in position where we got to go save these niggas?
Could you imagine Sam Jackson's part in is the what's to do with the eye patch? The
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Could you imagine Nick Fury directed by? Dude, that's a skit, man. Nick Fury directed by
Quentin Tarantino. Right. I put the Avengers together so you niggas could learn to work in this motherfucker. Fucking Don Cheadle as War Machine. Hey, what do you want us to do about the sector where nigga, what is it, nigga? Yeah, I don't want fucking Tarantino touching that. He's not meant for that.
It's funny, it's Tarantino, but I don't, Hollywood's entertainment. Comic books are entertainment. Comic book movies make sense to be.
You don't. Let me ask you. You think any of that is a little bit of jealousy? That whoever directs that movie just directed a movie that made almost $500 million.
I think some of it has to do. I don't want to use the word jealousy.
Envy.
I think irritation.
Okay, that might be the perfect word.
Because it is the perfect word. Because you make a movie that is beautiful, that's filmed well, great actors, great story, but it's a story. It's small in scope as far as like a real life movie that someone could connect to on an emotional level. And It's a beautiful movie that you would love to have critical acclaim and an Oscar nominations, and that would be great. And then someone comes along and takes something that's, a comic book and bigger than life, doesn't really have like a connection story. And you throw that out there and, there's rewrites and it's a big crew that write it. It's not just really one person and boom, it's this big Hollywood blockbuster that these people can live off for the rest of their lives. They're struggling to get great actors for this great movie because the great actors are making $25 million playing something that doesn't exist. Right. Yeah, so there's a little. I think that there would be some irritation in there. There would be if I was a director and I have to compete with that so that I can continue to get money and work at the studio. Yeah, of course I'm going to get upset about it.
Right,
but it's entertainment, man.
Yeah. I think that some of those directors because when you're a Scorsese. Or Quentin Tarantino, you consider yourself an artist. And part of what makes an artist is the pictures you paint. So when you've got great stories and great actors and great layers and great directing, that's your piece. Versus a superhero movie where it already has a background. It already has a built-in audience. It already has something that you're bringing something to it as a director. Yeah, certain things you need to do as a director, but it's already has a built-in thing going for itself. Right. So I think that some of those directors look at superhero movies like, did a movie version of Carrot Top. It's like, and I'm not trying to shit on Carrot Top, but I'm just saying his job as a performer, as a comedian, the one rule is make you laugh. However he does that is his way. But if he makes you laugh, he has accomplished the main goal. But if you're a Carrot Top or a ventriloquist, comics who actually don't do that, but do it the traditional, me on a stage with a microphone, being vulnerable, telling my truth, giving my perspective, that seems more respectable than word props, nigga. A dummy. Like, I think that's how some of these directors look at superhero movies, like a crutch.
You cultivated an audience over years of putting out comic books where you have people that are in their 70s that still love comic books, people in their 50s, their 60s, all the way down to kids today. I don't know how many kids today love comic books, more so the movie, because comics, to me, when I go to the comic book store, the experience isn't the same anymore. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the movies. My son,
I think that has something to do with it.
My son likes more like the Japanese anime more than our traditional like American comics. So I don't know. There's just maybe because there's more options. It's just different. But I mean, you cultivate that audience and then you put these movies out and you give them big budgets. Of course, they're going to be blockbusters. But that being said, one of my favorite movies of all times is The Godfather. Would I want The Godfather, if it was to come out today, which I still think that it holds up today, if it was, you probably put, you would have to, a cast change, who knows what it would be. But if The Godfather came out today, what I think is one of the greatest movies ever made, ever filmed, and it had to go up against a comic book movie, it's going to lose that weekend. And I think that's where the irritation comes in.
Right. I think that in some of, well, what do you need me for? This is Superman.
Yeah.
This is Batman. What is my involvement going to be to make this special? What do you need me for?
Yeah, just CGI me into the suit, and
Right.
and we can do this with a group of directors because it's gonna happen in editing anyway, and the movie happens in post.
Yeah, I don't think people should ever downplay the importance and the contribution to what these movies are. I think they're great. But to answer your question, and this is where I'm gonna feel a little. Okay, here we go. What did I think about the movie? I feel like, honestly, because this is our movie, and I know there's some people that'll hear this and shake their heads and go, "Why you got to make it a black thing?" Because it is. We don't get these opportunities in abundance like our counterparts. You know, this is a black-driven movie, black hero, black setting, black culture, African. I feel a certain obligation to go, not only am I supposed to support the movie, I'm supposed to walk away with rave reviews. Man, this shit is fire. This is the best shit ever. And I'm gonna support it because it's our movie. But if I'm being completely honest, man, these Black Panther movies, I don't know that I like this one more than the first one, but I don't know that I like the first one more than the second one. They both felt the same to me. They didn't blow me away. And if I'm being completely honest, my favorite character of all the Marvel characters is Iron Man. The first two movies, great. The third one, I'm not a Captain America guy. So the first one, I didn't have to see again. But Winter Soldier was fire. Civil War was bananas. And of course, the Avenger movies, especially Infinity War and Endgame, off the fucking charts. Black Panther I'm not blown away by this, man.
I thought one was one of the better comic book movies of all time. It was filmed amazingly.
Listen, visually stunning. And that's one thing about black people. We can pull off colors and patterns like nobody's business. Seeing us in all white is spectacular. The contrast between white and our chocolate skin is beautiful. That moment where Letitia Wright, Shuri, goes once she drinks the potion and she goes and sees Michael B. Jordan and this nigga's in all white and she's in all white. Colors look good on our skin. We're a great palette for colors, man. So yeah, and with the African colors and the culture, visually stunning. But the movie itself.
But the first one with all the gadgets and everything that she was making and how I think you underrate the first one. The second one, my only issue with it is, and I thought it was still good, really good. It had so many challenges. They took on so much. You have to deal with Chadwick Boseman's death. You have to put that in, and that means the whole movie that they had laid out that they wanted to do is off the table. Now they have to rewrite and come up with the new movie and fill it all in and figure it out. So that's one thing. I think because, and I'll leave with you on this, because it is a black movie, it has a wokeness to it that it touches on. Now, it didn't get overdone. I didn't feel like it was overdone, but it was important to, touch certain issues. And it did. It touched all issues. It went by and touched them all. I was happy to see the Mayans make an appearance, that there's some people that my history comes up, because that's been overlooked the whole time. And yeah, he was a good bad guy, or he was a bad good guy, depending on how you want to look at it. That's a lot. That's a lot for a comic book movie. It's a lot. It's 2 hours and 43 minutes, I think, or 41 minutes. It's a lot. It's a lot to put in there. It's a lot to have to do. It's a lot for a regular movie if it was trying to tell a story. It's a huge obstacle for a comic book movie.
Yeah, listen, I think most of us have been to an aquarium. And when you go to a really great one, the beauty of it, that's why I'm saying scuba diving for me. When you go scuba diving and you're underneath the water and you see all those vibrant, beautiful, bright colored fish, and it feels like a different world. This movie is a great aquarium. It's beautiful visually, but as far as substance, it leaves a lot to be desired.
There's a little CGI in there that I don't like. There's not a little CGI in the movie. There's CGI in the movie. There's some scenes in there that took me out of it a little bit. Overall, I thought
like what one? Give me one in particular.
It's when they're climbing up the side of the ship,
right.
And they made everybody really small. And they're all walking about this. They're like on the same pace.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's only so much they can do.
Right.
I know it's CGI. I know it's a distance shot so they could get it all in to show the gravity of what's about to happen. But it looked very, that was the only that one scene bothered me a little bit. But other than that, as far as how it was shot visually, it's still good. Dude with the plate in his mouth, he gets 2 scenes this time.
That shit just looks uncomfortable.
It does look uncomfortable, but remember the first one.
Yes,
The reason I brought it up is because you made a point of him the very first time on the very first play. He got 2 scenes this time.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Having Siri have to carry the franchise, the Black Panther,
right,
doesn't allow her to be the person she was in the first one.
Which is why I'm saying I get it. This one made sense. This felt appropriate. Going forward, I don't want to see her as the Black Panther.
I liked her as the other kid, the smart, kind of snarky, kind of, very like.
She was like, what was the name of James Bond's inventor? She was like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Whenever James Bond would go to get his new gadgets,
yeah.
I want to say Felix.
It wasn't
But
Felix.
I think that's off. But whoever, he would go see the person, Mr. Bond, I have the new pen that if you push the button, makes a woman's clothes shoot off and you can fuck her.
But I liked that, and she was a smart ass to the Black Panther.
She was a little sister.
Yeah, because she was smart. She was the smartest one in the room.
Right.
So now she has to be the smartest one in the room and the Black Panther.
Yes.
So those are the challenges that the movie had to me, and it wasn't the design of Black Panther to be that. It changed because of the situation that took place. I mean, you can't.
Right.
I'm not going to fault Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
It's what happened, and it's that's how it went. So the movie itself, it was good. I understood the challenges that were there to it and how to reframe the movie, but it wasn't the movie that it would have been had things gone a different way.
Right.
So, but I thought they did a great job with everything that was there. I disagree with you on the first one. I thought the first one was one of the better comic book movies.
Like I said, man, I going in, I felt like, again, the gravity of it. Holy shit, our time has arrived. Black people all going to the theater in droves wearing African garb. We made it a moment. It was a moment. It was a movement. So because of that, you want to be a part of something. This was cinematic history for us. And then, prior to, I don't know if it was Endgame or Infinity War. It was one of those two where prior to one of those, this was the highest money-making Marvel movie of all time. And then either came Infinity War or Endgame. I think it's Endgame. And that it eclipsed that. And rightly so, given the gravity of what Endgame was and coming off the cliffhanger that was Infinity War. They set it up to be that way.
Right.
So I went in and I said, Black Panther, yeah. But as time went on, I went, really? Was it really? Yeah. And it wasn't. For me, it wasn't. But I wasn't going to do that in the beginning because I had to be supportive.
But did you ever read Black Panther as a kid?
I didn't read any comic books as a kid.
Okay.
I wasn't into comic books. I was into, seeing the cartoon or the TV series and the movie, but I never was into comic books.
Iron Man was my favorite comic book hero, so I had high expectations for it, and I believe that in the most part, it's Robert Downey Jr. was able to meet those expectations.
That's the part he was born to play.
I felt like Chadwick Boseman exceeded Black Panther. That's why I think Black Panther was so good to me, because the movie itself, it hit higher than the comic book to me. But again, Iron Man was my favorite comic book character.
Okay, but even in saying that, I can't, and I know a lot of people have said this, I can't see anybody else other than Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark. That, I don't know if swarmy is the right word, but that charming, but yet still arrogant personality that is Tony, he pulls that off to perfection. You know, at one point, the studio wanted Tom Cruise to be Robert Downey Jr. And the reason why Tom Cruise turned it down is because he said he didn't want his face covered up. He wanted people to see his face with the Iron Man suit. And it's like, that's ego, man. What are you talking about? You want to fly around in the metal suit so from neck down, they see the Iron Man suit, but see your face. You're not being the character then.
It'd be
that's ego.
Super crystal face.
Yeah, right. And that's why I'm going, it takes a certain personality to be able to accept the role of who Tony is, the personality that is Tony. And listen, you could still get it both ways. They show Robert Downey's face, but Tom wanted his face.
Right.
So my thing is, I don't think there's anybody outside of Robert Downey that could have played that character, because to me, that was the role he was born to play. Now, Chadwick, with all respect, I could see other people playing that part, man.
But
my fantasy was, obviously he's too old now, but a younger Wesley Snipes, that's the Black Panther to me. A Money Train Wesley Snipes, New Jack City Wesley Snipes, that's Black Panther, dog. The motherfucker has real martial arts skills. He's very dark complected. Wesley's a black motherfucker, nigga. So he's got the African thing that if he can nail the accent, that's Black Panther, dog. And Wesley was a man's man.
I'm not denying that, but that wasn't the option. And I thought he exceeded what.
No, I think he did a good job, but I'm not married to, man, I can't see nobody but Chadwick. I told you, I think Aldous Hodge would make a great Black Panther. My man from City on a Hill.
Yeah.
There's a couple dudes who I could see them as Black Panther. I can't see nobody else but Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Nobody.
Well, there's going to have to be somebody eventually.
Well, no, the character's dead.
Yeah, but you don't think the suit exists?
Yeah. Well, and that you just brought me to my other note. And again, I supported this movie because it was our movie. But I don't like coming to the house when the man of the house ain't home. It's the reason why I say I won't watch any of the Power spinoffs. Omari Hardwick is not in it. That's the man of the house. I think it's very disrespectful to put your feet up on the coffee table at another man's home when he not home. And I can't support it. I supported this, but I didn't like the fact Chadwick wasn't in it.
But there was no choice.
I get that. But I don't like it. The man of the house wasn't home.
Okay, so I like your take, but I look forward to whatever the third one's going to be.
I do too, only because I want to see who they recast, and I'm glad to see a man back in that role. But am I gung ho about it? I don't know.
I think they're going to surprise you. But here's my question though. You said you weren't a big Captain America fan,
right?
The fight scene in the elevator.
Oh my God!
That's not one of the best fight scenes in all of them.
Oh my God! That's the one where if you're eating popcorn, a big bucket of popcorn, and it's sitting on your lap, and you go to grab your next fistful, and you go, wait, what is this? It feels fleshy. Your dick has burst through the bucket because you got a hard on from the man food, nigga. Let me tell you something. I don't know what fight scene is better. The elevator fight scene, and I just recently watched it. The elevator fight scene in Winter Soldier, Captain America, or the warehouse fight scene in Batman versus Superman.
Oh, no, wait.
Dude.
No.
That Batman versus Superman warehouse fight scene.
It's great.
It's one of the most badass fight scenes for a superhero, certainly in the Batman franchise. Certainly in the Batman franchise.
But in the elevator. And when he says,
I know.
And when he says,
yeah. If anyone would like to get off now or something, here's your chance.
Here's your chance.
Right.
Dude, that.
Oh, that fight scene, dude. Oh, and then how they ended where they got the aerial shot and everybody's laid out and he steps on the shield like a skateboarder, steps on a skateboard and it pops back on his wrist. Man. But dude, rewatch the Batman versus that fight. And again, if you're a video gamer and you've played any of the Arkham Knight Batman video games, that's how he fought in the game. And then when you look at the fight scene in Christian Bale's Batman and the first one at the docks, horrible. Compared to the Affleck shit, that's what really made me fall in love with Ben Affleck. That fight scene, dude. Oh, goodness. It rivals them two that's a choice.
You know, as much as I like the Christian Bale Batmans, we've already talked about this, and I know we're past time, but as much as I like the Christian Bale Batmans and seeing all of Christian Bale's movies recently, I've been watching a bunch of them lately.
Right.
What's his worst performance?
Christian Bale? In that movie?
In Batman. As Batman. He's such a great actor.
Yeah, and then when we talk about the money thing, yeah.
He is a fucking...
Well, again, what did he really need to do? It's Batman. It's established.
I understand.
It's you know.
And I still say he's a good Batman. He's not the top one, but he's a good Batman. But when you look at his body of work, who gives a fuck if he's the... I mean, if I was him, I would be like, who gives a fuck if I'm the worst Batman?
But you know that, listen, and if we're being honest, I think every actor, whether they care to admit it or not, unless you are a Daniel Day-Lewis or a Gary Sinise or Gary Oldman, I think that's his name, where you're artistic. You're just artistic. And some dudes are like that. Every actor wants the movie that's going to make them the mega name, the mega face, the most famous, a big money grab. And superhero movies do that. They don't require a lot of depth in terms of acting. But if you're in the right superhero movie, you are fucking famous beyond your belief because it's a blockbuster. You're going to make a ton of money that can retire you for life. So I believe that some dudes like a Christian Bale and every dude who's done it goes, this is my shot. If I don't do anything else, if my career doesn't get any better, this is the thing that solidifies my fortune, and I will be famous beyond belief. 10 times more than I am now.
Or you could be Robert Downey Jr. and you could get Iron Man, and then you could get Sherlock Holmes, and you have...
Great problem to have. And I'm speaking from never having had that problem. Maybe if I had that problem, I go, yo, this sucks. But from where I'm standing, great problem to have.
He's a great actor, though.
Yes, he is.
You know, when you talk about Daniel Day-Lewis, who I think is one of the best actors, his movies, and he does these small, weird-ass fucking films. It's great. I wouldn't have any problem putting... when you look at some of the work that he's done, Robert Downey Jr., he does good work, man.
Well, here's the other thing. Before Iron Man, he had been doing so much great work.
Yeah.
It wasn't like career was floundering and wasn't really doing nothing.
His career did stall because he got in trouble with the drugs. Yeah.
But even before and during some of that, he was always doing respectable, great work. It wasn't like he was just, career wasn't really doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. Like Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves ain't known for nothing really but Superman and being a soap star.
Yeah.
So while he was pursuing a great movie career, it wasn't like his phone was ringing off the hook. And then he became Superman. And the rest was history.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're a guy like Robert Downey, who has been doing respect and you know, so much respect among your peers, directors want to work with you because they know you're a special talent. Okay, yeah, now if you can throw a Iron Man in there, a Marvel franchise, well, then you're set. You know. So yeah, that's a good problem to have. And you know, we don't know it for sure because it ain't like we interviewed a Gary Oldman or a Daniel Day-Lewis or a Gary Sinise. But it feels like those guys choose to go, I'm going to, you know, because when you're that great of a talent, you getting work is not a problem. But it seems like we only see them when they want us to see them.
Sinise took a TV role, I thought.
CSI is one of the CSIs.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, you know, I'm telling you, man.
No, I know TV is different now. It doesn't have the same, you know, back in the 70s and earlier.
Yeah, you were either a movie star.
To be a movie star and be offered TV was like, ugh. It's beneath me. I'm on the big screen. But that's changed.
So I'm still sticking with my Ben Affleck on a Batman series. But here we go.
All right.
We done?
We're done.
So go see both those.
Oh,
go see both the Blacks.
Go see the Blacks. Definitely go see the Blacks. If Quentin Tarantino directed it, the niggas. Go see the niggas. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. Real quick, I gotta play this clip real quick because I've totally forgot this. I want to give a big shout out to our boy Kolsch, who I don't know if he contacted you, but he contacted me a while back, and I'm almost feeling a little ashamed because I have not mentioned this. Kolsch told me he was going to kind of be taking a break because he was going through some issues mentally.
I don't think I got that.
Yeah, and Kolsch, if you're listening, brother, I'm sorry I didn't mention this before. It just totally slipped my mind. But you did reach out to me, heartfelt, and say that you were going through some things emotionally and mentally. Love you, brother. Do what you got to do to get right for you. You know, I wish you nothing but the best. I know you've asked me for my phone number for WhatsApp a million times. Hit me. You got me on Instagram, man. Send me a DM. Let me know you all right. If you need to talk or whatever, I'm here for you, brother. And this is very heartfelt to you. Please don't do nothing that we would all regret, because I know you're loved and appreciated by some people in this world, even if we don't know you directly. Please don't do nothing crazy, because I would hate to have you do something crazy and then Andy and I mourn for about 2 weeks and then we crack the obvious joke and go, how you think he died? Probably drowned in the bathtub. So don't do nothing crazy, man.
I was trying to hold it in and I'm laughing at that.
Don't do nothing crazy, man. We love you, man. Be easy. Yeah, you got friends, man.
Dude, I didn't know that, man. Seek some services, man, if you're feeling that way. Please, man, because too many people don't take care of themselves that way mentally. So,
and before Andy does the dates, this is why I wanted to play a clip from something Deion Cole said in his latest special on Netflix. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I played this clip, I got teary-eyed because, you know, I don't really put my personal business out there much on this podcast, or at least if I do, I try to control how vulnerable I can be or I'm willing to get. And certainly, like any comic, whatever it is that's serious, I try to cover it up with a laugh so it doesn't seem so bad. But Deion Cole said some shit at the end of his special that really touched me because, man, people, fuck words, actions equal impact. Hug a motherfucker. Kiss a motherfucker. Let me play the clip. Fuck that. Here it is. Deion Cole.
Shows, especially when y'all come to these comedy shows and specials and shit like that, man, do me a favor, yo. Get it, and what I'm about to say ain't saying this for claps. I want you to hear me. Get a comedian's love, y'all. Because I'm going to let you know something. Comedians be some hurt motherfuckers, man. We got to put away everything that's bothering us in order to come make y'all happy. And we not complaining. It's part of the job. A boxer get hit, so that's just the job and shit. But you never understand what the comic is going through. He has to constantly be doing this shit and being happy around everybody when this whole fucking world is caving the fuck in. And y'all don't know that. There's a lot of hurt motherfucking comics out there.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice, but
Yeah.
be nice, but don't hug me or anything like that. I'm not a hugger. You want to get hugged, get a hug.
Well, I'm saying that, but you know, I'm like you too. I mean, I'm, you know, I love getting love from strangers, but if you smell funny, we may have to pause on the hug. But no, the message just being that, you know, I love when he said we got to constantly do the dun 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 dun. I'm an old time gal. We got to be the WB frog.
Yeah.
When your whole world is collapsing, and you know, it's just, I know there are people in my life who I take care of, who they give me all the right words, but they don't give me the actions, man.
Well, this goes past comics. So really quick, it's just that we don't know what anybody is going through. Anybody on the street, anybody, but we do know this: everybody's going through something. No one's not going through anything. I mean, even the people that you think have it the best, everybody has something. So, you know, we should try to be nice. That being said, I want to say what I said to that heckler this weekend when she was drunk and she kept chatting at me.
Uh-huh.
And then she said that her friend said, well, she ain't driving. I go, well, I wish she would. And I hope she drives fast.
Ooh.
Because I don't know her. I ain't going to miss her.
Mm.
And everybody was kind of hurt that I said that. But I stand by it. I don't know you.
Well,
you want to be.
If she was being that much of a cunt.
She was, you know. So, but for me to say that, you had to get into me.
Right.
And so.
Oh, and one last thing before Andy gives out these dates, real quick. Fellas, you know my love and affection for Gemma. And I said before Gemma, there was a Miradyme. Man, oh man, I got a new one. Now, Gemma's still my top tier, but there's a chick, fellas, check her out on Instagram. She goes by It's the Lady Tarzan. ITSTHELADYTARZAN. It's the Lady Tarzan. Oh boy! Now listen, I'm a breast man. I'm an everything man. But I like big breasts. Her only flaw, she got little titties. But besides that, man, cute face from the flat stomach, even got a little bit of 4-pack. She's muscular in the stomach. But her ass and leg game, oh my God. Good morning, Vietnam. Fellas, I'm putting the motherfucking bat signal in the air. The titties. Meet me on the roof like Commissioner Gordon. It's time. Dingle, dangle, dick danglers, whatever we call ourselves. Let's meet in the treehouse. No women allowed. As soon as the last man climbs into the treehouse, remove the ladder.
Dude, do you think if that girl and then Gemma got in the treehouse at the same time,
it would come down?
Yeah, it would collapse.
It would collapse, nigga.
What do you think? How far up that pole from the Vol movie would Gemma get up the pole?
You know, if I don't even think, I think both her and Gemma could physically punch the tree loose. Nigga, look up this girl, y'all. It's the Lady Tarzan. Dim legs. Give out the dates. God damn.
Okay, here's where we're at. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to be listening to this. Oh man, it's Thanksgiving weekend.
I didn't realize that till 2 hours ago when I looked and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're going to be having some Thanksgiving. I'm going to be in Arizona with my boys. I'll be at the Tempe Improv with Adam Ferreira. Thanksgiving weekend. And Aries is going to be at the Helium in Indianapolis. And then we get our special forces up together again in December 1st through the 4th. We're going to be at the Ontario Improv in California. December 22nd, Aries is doing a one-nighter. He's at the Club Bea. Is that it?
I think so. How you spell it?
Bahia?
Yeah, in L.A.
Yeah, in Los Angeles. Doing a one-nighter out there. And then December 29th through the 31st, that is New Year's, folks. We're going to be at Magooby's.
Baltimore.
So come on, check us out there. And then back on my side of town, we'll be at the Helium Buffalo. We'll be back in Buffalo. I love Buffalo. We're going to be at the Helium there doing January 5th through the 8th. And then January 12th through the 15th, we're going to be back at Helium again, but in St. Louis this time.
Here it is. Don Locioso, TikTok at Southeast, spelled like Southeast, .DC_GOAT. Twitter at Southside_slime, SISLIME. Snapchat at Don, DON_LOKIOSO. Instagram at southeast.dc_goat. Email DONLOKIOSO@gmail.com. Cell phone number is 202-421-0535. Here it is from Don Locioso.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.